We are on our way from our hotel to the Falkirk Wheel in Scotland. During the 17th and 18th centuries, Britain built a network of canals linking all the major cities. When building canals, they faced a problem, the problem of lifting boards from a lower level to a higher level. In order to solve this problem, they invented the lock system. The lock system can be found in different parts of the world. Maybe it was invented in Britain. Panama Canal is based on the lock system. Falkirk Wheel is unique. It lifts boards to a height of 30 meters or more. The original lock system was built in the second half of 18th century. It became dysfunctional later, but the present one is built in recent decades and soon became a tourist attraction. The Falkirk wheel uses gravity to lift the boat from a lower level to a higher level.
Morning, welcome to the Falkirk Wheel. Welcome aboard Archimedes. Skippers here. Colleague right up the back behind me is Gary. He's also one of the skippers. If you'd all like to give him a wee wave, say hello, be more than appreciated. So what we'll be doing on this trip is we'll do a 180-degree rotation and we'll go straight to the very top. Once we are at the top, we'll sail across the aqueduct, we'll go through the
The tunnel in front of you now, you'll remember it runs under the Antonine Wall, is another part of what makes this place special. It might look just like any other tunnel, but it had to be excavated with utmost care so as not to disturb the archaeological remains above. And it has a concrete base so as not to damage the old mine workings beneath. It's precision engineering. But the real precision work is on the Falkirk Wheel itself, a feat of engineering and architectural design. It was the first rotating boat lift to be built in the world, bringing the story of Scottish invention, adventure, and world first right up to date. The sense of ambition and pride felt by the design team matches that of those engineers and canal builders a few centuries ago. While many see the wheel as a beautiful thing, it's often questioned whether its merits are as a piece of art or as a piece of engineering. Tony Kittle, the designer of the Falkirk Wheel, perhaps puts it best.
We came up with a practical, physical solution to the problem of how to link the two canals together. But we were driven by both the practical and the aesthetic, and wanted to create something sculptural that would give a sense of movement and rotation. Our wheel has some of the enduring qualities of a timepiece, precision engineering and intrinsic beauty, metal curves and movement in one composition.
Of creating the Falkirk Wheel. You'll remember that the two canals had fallen into a state of disrepair in the late 20th century, and they weren't used for transporting goods or people anymore. It might have been easier just to fill the canals in and forget about them altogether. But then, in the late 1990s, it was realised that the redevelopment of these waterways could create what became known as a corridor of opportunity right across the central belt of Scotland. And there were plenty of enthusiastic volunteers too, who wanted to see their local canal brought back to life rather than sitting there abandoned. The Millennium Link project saw these canals repaired and reopened, and at £84 million was Britain's most ambitious canal restoration project ever. In just 3 years, waterways were dredged, including removing 300,000 tonnes of silt, locks were replaced, 9 new locks built, and towpaths restored. There were also 35 new bridges and 5 kilometres of new canal. And it's been a huge success. Canal side investment has gone through the roof, over £400 million in the first decade alone, including 2,000 new waterside homes and 100,000 square metres of retail and commercial development. And very importantly for this region, 4,000 new jobs, all from a couple of canals. It's amazing to think what that kind of investment can do. Was it possible to reopen the locks joining these two canals? They were filled in and now have blocks of flats built on them. So a new solution was needed, hence the Falkirk Wheel. Not only does it link the two waterways, but it gives us a chance to celebrate Scottish design and ingenuity once again. Okay, as we're coming towards the end of our time on this level, I just have time to share some of the facts and figures of the Falkirk Wheel. It was opened in May 2002 by Her Majesty the Queen, although she never actually rode it like you have today. There are 15,000 bolts in the structure, pressed into 45,000 volt holes, and each one was tightened by hand. The two gondolas between them hold 1 million litres of water and can lift the weight of 100 elephants. Isn't it? If you were thinking of getting one for yourself, do be aware that the price tag comes at a whopping £20 million. We're heading back into the gondola now. Point some of these out to you as you descend. As we come to the end of this boat tour, it's impressive to think that the Falkirk Wheel wasn't actually built as a tourist attraction. There was no visitor centre here originally, and boat trips like these didn't take place. But people came to visit the wheel out of their own curiosity. They came from all over the world to wonder at this architecture.
During 17th and 18th century, a network of canals were built that linked major industrial centers of Great Britain. These canals were used to move goods between these cities. On the sides of the canals were tow paths, which can be seen even now. Horses were used to pull boats specially built for these canals. These statues of horses here are built to commemorate the contribution of horses to the economy of Great Britain.